All right, so this is my small garden area that I have. I have children and pets, so keep this in mind. My gardening zone is technically 16 by 9. I'm only supposed to keep the garden behind the house, but I'm going to be honest, I don't. I rent the space I'm in, I take care of it. Food is too expensive. I'm going to do what I have to do for my family. So I've extended the garden the 3 feet here. My water spigot is on the back of the house where no doors are. So I have to have a pathway between here to access it to water the entire garden. I heavily garden everything here in this 9 foot space, leaving myself a about 3 foot path. So I get 6 feet each on each side, and the 3 foot path is so I can mow. Rotate my crops. I have 4 little raised beds that have the ability to keep water, so I do that. This bed is one my husband built for me, and it has strawberries. My plan is to put rhubarb beside it, 2 rhubarb plants to get them going because they take years. One of my beds that I have here, it's a really small one, has my asparagus, and I plan to make it my asparagus bed forever. This is also my strawberry bed this year. I've got to clean it out, take out all my old ones and transplant, and I want another strawberry bed, so I've got to figure out where that one is. So this is my strawberry bed. This is a porch that we store things under, and this is a porch, and we have a little cement walkway and a little patio. This is all shaded area. It is hard to grow things on there, so I'm thinking I might put a bunch of flowers here. We fenced the yard last year in fall. So now I have 2 planters where the gate is, and all of this area that I didn't have before where I can plant. And I think I'm going to fill it with hellebores, honestly. So all this area would be hellebores here. We're going to build our children a play set. We're going to keep this area here. And I plan to put a mud kitchen here for them, just here in the back so they can have fun. And so they have their place where they can do chalk. They have a little mud creative station, and they'll have a playground. And because I have the kids, I would love to fill the entire area with flowers and veggies, but they need a place to play. But I'm thinking of filling this whole space with hellebores. This space here has my perennials. I have a stilby that I've been growing for 3 years now that is slowly spreading. It's beautiful. It's like a purpley pink, and I also will heavily plant my glads in between, and I like to do the glads in the back so they grow nice and tall. And I want to do a heavy planting of gladiolus this year so I can have bulbs to cut or flowers to cut and then grow. Over here I might put some hellebores, although I did put a perennial in the ground that's supposed to spread because it's low and it doesn't require mowing. I might just leave it as that. My husband prefers that, and just do all hellebores here in the front, till and dig and make it all pretty. And then I have these 2 planters. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. The hellebores are perennials, so I want them here so that way they can grow and multiply. I kind of do, these are my seasonal containers. My boys like to pick things, and I'll have to, this one will usually be in full shade. This will be in part sun, part shade, so that's going to be interesting. Over here, I planted my 3 peonies. I don't know how they're going to fare. They were bare roots. If they come back, yay. If they don't, well, I'll be buying more. And I plan to fill this space, which it is about an 8-foot space. I did the measurements here, so I can plant more peonies than this. And that's probably what I do. I want this to be my peony section. It does not have a lot of water. It's full sun, good ventilation in this area. These represent my 3 grapes, blueberry, and a blackberry. I think I have one more in here, but I can't remember. This is where I have started my little iris garden. I'm very picky about irises. I'm more growing it for myself and my heirloom. This is a container where I put mosquito plants to help. And then this area here I don't plant because this is where my dog goes to the bathroom. I planted flowers, and I did about a 3-foot stretch of flowers here. I did marigolds in the front and zinnias in the back. It was a bad year for zinnias. We were so dry. So this year, I did my sunflowers and peppers here. I'm trying to overwinter peppers. We'll see. I'm a zone. They say we're a 5B. They say we're a 5A. We're technically 5B, almost a C, especially based on the winter here. So I have this whole area between the porches, leaving a decent walkway, which is partially shaded in the restful sun that I want to plant. I'm thinking I might do my Lysianthus here. I want to do cosmos. My husband does not like the look of cosmos. I love them. He does not. So I might put the cosmos in the very back here and put my marigolds in the front here and my zinnias. The thing is, I have to fit a lot in here with not having a lot of space. Now, my husband enjoys the zinnias a lot, so what I could do is put the zinnias right here. But I don't like to put the flowers too close to the house, because after 3 years, I have, going on year 4, a beautiful ecosystem. The insects, everybody knows that I have a garden. I don't use pesticides, so I have a little frog that moves in every year consistently. He comes back. Him and another one have moved in. I have a praying mantis. They now lay eggs in my garden every year, and they hatch out, and I have a thriving praying mantis colony. Also, I have dragonflies and damselflies that come every year. I have an amazing amount of carpenter bees and honeybees that visit, and I have monarch and swallowtail butterflies and a few other species that come as well. I also have a little garter snake that comes, and a plethora of woolly what are those called? Woolies. We just call them woolies, but they're little caterpillars that are both black and brown, the brown in the middle and the black on the outside. That predicts the type of winter you're going to have. I have those. So it's, and my neighbor has birds that she feeds in the bird feeder. We have an owl that comes. We have a black squirrel and a red squirrel that move into the tree every year. We have blue jays and cardinals that will feed on some of my berries that grow, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So, and it's taken years. The first year, I didn't have that. The second year is when the frog came, is when the bees came. And hummingbird moths too. I get those now. So it's a whole ecosystem, and I feel like it waits, and they prepare themselves, and they're so ready. I also have a ton of garden spiders that have moved in this year. I do get ants that farm aphids, and usually I will allow that. I leave one host plant to be the problem, and they seem to stay at that plant, and I don't have an aphid problem. This year I promised my boys that I would grow corn. Every other year I alternate corn because it is so heavy on the soil. So where the corn was last year, I put tomatoes and I put green beans to send nutrients back into the soil, and peas. So I did the corn here last year. I'm going to do the corn here this year. Or I should say 2 years ago I did corn. But I like to move corn here. I planted sunflowers to help pull the yuck out of the soil. So sunflowers I'm probably going to plant in the very, very, very back of my garden. And I'm not going to do my white knights. Those are special. I'm going to do my regular ones. The birds love it. We let them dry, and we have fun seeing what seeds the birds pick out of it and how fast they go through it and what their favorite ones are. Because birds do have favorite ones. And so in front of the sunflowers, I've done tomatoes here for the last few years. I'm going to move my tomato crop here because you don't want to keep it in that same place. I had them above ground in my containers. They didn't do as well as when I put them in ground this year. So now they're going to go in ground here. And I'm going to move my containers probably to the back here. Or what I might do is take my containers and hide them here. We also plan, so this is where the dog goes potty, right here in the square. That's why I don't plant any edibles here. And all my edibles are far away for us. We plan to build a shed about here. And if we do that, I can skip here and plant some vegetables here as well. Some trellising ones or more flowers, because I could plant flowers all around the shed. You're allowed to do that. So that would open up my space. I just want to make sure that I have enough running space for the 2 boys I have. This is a gas meter, cannot be moved. They stuck it dang in the middle of the yard. It's frustrating. I also have a clothesline I have to figure out because that's how we dry our clothes in the summer. That's the only part is my clothesline. I don't have a dryer. Maybe I'll get a dryer if I have enough money. But there's something about drying your clothes outside. The smell, the feel. I don't know. I'm so accustomed to doing it. It's what I grew up doing in Mexico. So anyway, we'll see what we do. But this is the plan, and this is the house itself. There's a huge tree that provides some shade here, but it doesn't really affect the yard here and here. The fullest sun area is right here. And that is the garden plans for the year. And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, those are the plans.